We're good there, right? Isn't it?
It's time for the Bobby Bones Post Show. Here's your host, Bobby Bones.
Hello. Okay, let's talk about the Electoral College. What do you want to know?
What is it?
Good question. Anything you want to know, Amy? Let me just start with that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I know what it is, but it's like, why do we? I want to know why.
Great question. Okay, so the Electoral College, it's the Constitution, and it was put together to basically not give one area or major city too much power, right? So they have what's 538 is the total amount of electors. You're going to see tonight, over the next few days, people are trying to get to 270. That's what you need to win the presidency. So if you get 270 of the 538. Now the 538, the electors are based on each state and what the population of the state is.
Do we know who those people are? Or are they like?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I didn't know because I don't.
They're not secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool though. Like,
I wouldn't
did you
I
think
wouldn't
that?
want it to be secret. No.
Oh.
Too much power for secrecy.
I get it, but I mean, I just don't ever. I don't know that I ever see these.
Democracy dies in darkness.
What are they called?
Electors.
Electors.
Like, how do you get that job?
You get elected. I don't know.
No, you get nominated. It's different every year or every election. It's not the same person.
Oh.
So you
Yeah.
could apply.
Yeah, but then you have to get picked.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if Fun Flex applied.
Well, but and then there are penalties if you don't vote. Put your vote in for the person that won. There are different penalties per state. So no one has ever successfully said, "Okay, our state won this, but we're not going to do that."
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought that there were success stories of like the Electoral College. Like, it wasn't the popular vote.
No. The electoral. You can not win the popular vote, but win the Electoral College. So
See,
I'll
this is what I'm
but I'll explain it to you.
And the popular vote is everyone else
That's us,
in the
we
country?
the people.
The popular vote is everybody.
Yeah.
So the popular vote is sheer numbers. So let's say that we'll just use the number 1 million. Let's say there are 1 million people in the United States, and 600,000 of them vote for person A, 400,000 of them vote for person B. That's the popular vote. The popular vote doesn't mean anything other than like glory.
What are you talking
I
about?
feel like it.
What do
This
you
is
mean
where I
doesn't-
get confused because I feel like it means everything.
It would if the Electoral College didn't exist.
Exactly.
But the Electoral College exists to not give too much power to certain states or cities that have massive populations. Otherwise, you'd basically have New York and Los Angeles, San Francisco, Dallas, doing the whole election. Because they have way more people. If you were to take like the top 5 or 6 cities, they have as many people as everybody else combined. So what they're doing is listen, Electoral College
know,
has
I
a lot
get
of
you.
flaws, and I don't love it.
No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just like, the people are the people. It's like, okay, well,
We the people.
But the reason is
I
they
understand
don't.
now.
Otherwise, if you're like in Montana or Arkansas
Mm-hmm.
or in Louisiana, now you have fewer electors, fewer electoral votes, but your vote wouldn't matter because it's being settled by like 6 cities. The whole election is.
But
so now
everyone-
it just like, depending on what state you live in, you're kind of like, it doesn't matter.
Some, because for
Yeah,
example,
depending.
where we are, it really doesn't matter in the presidential vote. I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't matter because everything
It
matters.
does, I know.
But
We know what you're saying, though.
it does. The vote is overwhelmingly red in a red state that if all the blues go and vote, it's really not going to flip anything. And it's winner take all, except for in Nebraska, which Nebraska actually has a district that is not within the state. So Nebraska is a red state, but they have a blue district that counts for like an electoral vote or two.
Okay.
But that's rare.
So the electoral vote is the real vote.
Yes.
No, the popular vote's the real vote.
But they take the data from the real vote and then they go vote.
They take no.
Oh boy.
I pictured them.
The real vote, we're going to call
Sorry.
the real vote is when everybody votes.
That's
Yes.
the popular.
That's the popular vote.
Yes.
They don't take the data from the popular vote. They take the data from each state's popular vote.
Okay.
So each state is
Right, who
divided
they're
up.
in charge of, right?
Each state then goes and puts their winner-take-all votes in.
Okay.
So
There's 50 of those.
No, there's more. He just-
There's 538.
Well, those
Yeah.
are electoral colleges.
There's,
but-
no, not colleges. They're
Those
electors.
are the electors that are voting.
Yeah, but they come from each state. Eddie.
Yes, there's a certain number
So
per.
Georgia has 16, right?
Okay.
So in Georgia, swingish state. It's a swingish state. And so whichever of the candidates wins Georgia, even if it's by one vote, when they're all said and done, they get all 16 of the votes. So it's a winner-take-all for each state, and each state has a selected amount of electors based on population. Nebraska total has 5 votes, 4 of them for the state and 1 for that tiny little district. So that's the only state, I believe, that has the ability to break off and do secondary. New Hampshire may have one, too. We looked that up, Mike. I think New Hampshire and Nebraska. What's up? Does Maine have one too? Or am I thinking of Maine? Yeah, it's very rare, but most states are winner take all. So, each state has a popular vote. Okay, this is how I'm trying to boil it down.
Please.
Each state has a popular vote. The winner of that popular vote wins the state electors. The person with the most state electors wins. So don't look at it as America. We're the United States of America, and the states are who pick. Each state has a winner take all in the state. And if you get the most votes in the state, you win.
So it's sort of in a nutshell.
Nutshell me.
Maybe. I don't know. This is what my brain is picturing right now. It just creates all states as equal.
No, but it does give each state a voice depending on their population. So
And a more equal voice.
So California, it does equalize it a bit as to what the Electoral College is, in theory. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Electoral College, so I'm not here fighting for it. I'm just explaining why it exists, because why it exists makes sense. But let's use California, for example. 54 electoral votes in California. It's a massive state. If you win California, you get all 54 of those votes because of population. Now, if you were to add up Arizona, 11, Utah, 6, Nevada, 6, Wyoming, there's enough of those states that could equal out California.
Okay.
But it is yes, Morgan. It's a popular vote in each state, and if you win your state, the state uses those votes. Yes.
You might have said this. I was paying attention to the live stream, but what are the swing states?
Okay, there's a few of them. So
Georgia, you said, was one of them.
The ones that are really up tonight, the people are looking for, there's 2 sets of swing states, and I'm going to go from, I don't have any papers in front of me. I don't really need them. But so the ones that Trump needs to win are Georgia, Florida, Nevada, Arizona-ish is a swing state. He should win that. The ones that Harris needs to win are the Midwest states, and they are Wisconsin. Trump also needs North Carolina. But Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, all those that I mentioned there are swing states. And they're like purplish, meaning could go red or blue, so they say purple, but some are a little more red and some are a little more blue.
So when states are designated red or blue, like Republican, Democrat,
not designated, meaning there are more of those people in the past or by polling that are red or blue.
So it's like historically, this is what they've been. Historically
and based on polling. Now, Iowa just had a weird poll. Ann Seltzer put out a poll, and it came out, and it had Harris winning Iowa by 3 points, it blew everybody's mind because it's a red state. Other polls have come out to say the opposite, but that is a red state, and why it shocked everybody is a red state rarely will come out with poll numbers where a blue is leading. And
that's early voting?
No.
Is that where they get polls from?
No, it's not from voting because you don't know who people vote for.
Okay.
Early voting, what you're going to see, those numbers are the people that are registered. You can see that, like registered Democrats voting or registered Republicans voting or independents, but you don't see who they vote for. So you would assume most Republicans vote Republican, most Democrats vote,
sure.
But independents are yellow, and you don't really know where they're going. So, but that's where the early numbers, not the polling, but the numbers, they'll put out numbers to tell you where the parties have fallen in voting. But that doesn't mean every Democrat or every Republican votes for Democrats or Republicans. And you don't know where the independents are voting. And some states don't even have registered independents. So
If you register as an independent, what does your ballot look like? Because I know, like, you have to register as one and then shows up.
No, it's the same. So why you would register really is to vote in the primary. Because if you're a registered Republican, you can only vote in the Republican primary.
Yeah.
You can't vote in the Democratic primary. So this is not the primary. If you're a registered Democrat, you can only vote in the Democratic primary. Now, what people have tried to do in the past is register as the other one so they can like mess with the vote and vote for the person they don't want to represent the other side. Now, I don't think that's ever actually effectively worked, but The reason you're registered is to vote in the primary. You can literally vote for whoever you want in the general election, and the ballot shows up digitally randomly for every single person in the order. It's a random selection. All of them are going to be there, but they don't want anybody to be at the top. So it's all randomly generated. Boom. Trump on top of this one. Boom. Harris on top of this one. Boom. Jill Stein on top of this one. So that is a randomly generated. Now, they're all still there, so there's not you can't see anybody, but no one should get an advantage on even being on top of the ballots, which is why they have that assigned. But the registered part really doesn't affect anything now, other than they can tell registered who's early voted by what they classify themselves as, but they don't know who voted. They don't even count the votes until the polls close.
So is that why it's easier for them, like when it comes to the presidential election, to change who they're voting for versus being registered to vote in a specific party?
Ask me that again, because I'm not understanding.
So, like, you know how people are like, oh, well, I changed parties. I'm now in this. You can't do that for the other election because you have the ballot if you already registered, right?
So the other election, meaning the primary?
Yeah, like where you're talking about how, like, for the president, you can vote for whoever you
Whatever.
want.
It doesn't matter who you're registered with. You can vote for whoever you want.
But
And even in the primaries, when you go to the polls, they ask you, do you want a Democratic one or do you want a Republican ballot? And you just tell them which one you want, and you can vote. Doesn't matter what I don't even know where you register.
you can't do that if you're registered on the other ones.
Some
right?
states you register. Some states you don't have to register at all. But that's how they're telling now, because they have registered numbers of people. You can look at Pennsylvania. You can look at some of the swing states, which all the information is already out, of registered voters. And sometimes they do exit polls where they'll be like, what are you? Who did you vote for? So it's a really flawed process, but it's basically the best we got right now. I don't even think I'm registered as a party here. I don't even think we register in Tennessee, do we?
I don't know.
To vote in the primary, though, you have to claim one of the two because you can't vote in both.
Right. When you go to in our state,
I feel like in Texas I was registered
when you
Republican.
go in this, like in the state of Tennessee, when you go on the primaries, they ask you, do you want a Republican ballot or a Democratic? And then you just tell them which one you want, and they hand you that ballot.
You don't see all the other people running for president. You could vote. Well, if you haven't voted yet, but like there was like all these people on there. I was like, who are these people?
Was I on there?
No.
That'd be
Kanye
cool.
on there?
No,
Kanye?
not this time.
No, I didn't see.
Not
I
this
didn't
time.
see him. But I was just like, I wonder if some people were like, meh, I'm just gonna close my eyes.
I mean, I'm sure.
And then you like pick somebody at the bottom. I've never.
100%.
I don't
I'm
even
sure
know.
some
You
people
think
do
that.
Yes.
For president, probably not that many.
You don't think so?
Nah.
But those other offices, people don't know who they are.
I would say what they plan to do is most people plan to vote just down ballot, whatever their
Straight ticket.
whatever their association is.
I know, but my mom always encouraged me not to do that.
So that was a
And she was a
average to
registered
slightly above
Republican.
average explanation of that system. I do not think we're going to have a winner tonight.
Why do you say that? Like what?
Because it's such a mess.
I know.
Not
but
even that.
How does that happen?
In reality, they don't even count the votes for 50 years. They never count the votes that night. They can't get them all in.
So then, how are they gonna? When will a decision be made?
Once all the votes are counted. Now we had a deal once, and we could probably pull up presidents that have won the popular vote but lost the Electoral College. It's happened
That's
5
happened
times.
4.
I believe it's 5, but
Really?
we can fact check me on that.
Okay, I don't know. I was googling it. It just says here there have been 4 elections in which the person elected president won the electoral
Could be right.
vote but lost.
I don't want to
Or
commit.
maybe that was.
I don't want to commit, but we'll see.
I have another stupid question.
Mike, can you give me the answer to that when you find it? Yes.
Maybe
Stupid-
that's an old
stupid
article.
question.
But they're not stupid because I've probably been wrong on 20% of this.
Oh, I just googled like explain to me electoral college like I'm an idiot.
No, I think that's fine.
I'll read that to you later because I still don't get it. But here's my question. So,
No, Bobby's doing good.
how do they count? Like, why don't they just? I mean,
They can't start counting till it's closed.
yeah, but isn't it electronic? Like, can we just like there's the data?
Yes, but they can also like redo a hand count, and they've had to do that before.
Where they actually have
and they have
to
to pay
count?
for that. Yeah,
my.
there's a lot of ways.
What about those burned ballots?
What
Listen,
happened there?
Well, they let some boxes on fire, and what state was that?
Oh yeah,
recently.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, 5 of 46 presidents came into office without winning the national popular vote.
Oh, 5. Okay.
Here we go. 2016, Donald Trump, even though Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by over 2.8 million votes. All right. In 2000, George W. Bush became the president, even though Al Gore won the popular vote by 500,000 votes.
I remember staying up for that one.
I remember that one
That was
too.
2000?
in college. Yeah, we had a party.
That one wasn't decided till the Supreme Court. And
Yeah, it was
because-
crazy.
Yeah, that one. If you go back in history and look at that, that's a bad situation.
Yeah.
That was just like having power to own the Supreme Court. And like
That was
appoint
Bush.
justices.
That was
Bush
hanging
and
chads,
Clinton?
wasn't it?
It was that one.
Yeah. Remember
Let's see. In 1876, Rutherford B. Hayes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Good times.
You stayed up, had a party on
I
that
stayed
one?
up for that one. Late night, man.
You were high
So-
school then?
Man, we ran out of gas for the light.
So Rutherford B. Hayes won, but he did not have as many votes as some guy named Tilden.
Yeah.
Samuel Tilden.
Yeah, Sammy.
Okay, that's 3.
Okay.
1888. Benjamin Harrison became president by carrying New York by 14,000 votes, even though Grover Cleveland won the national popular vote. So Cleveland ended up being president, but didn't win that one. And then finally, John Quincy Adams. Dang, we're going back. That's not John Adams.
No, it's his cousin.
Son.
Son.
Yeah. In 1824, John Quincy Adams became president, even though Andrew Jackson received the most popular votes nationwide.
Is that the first father-son duo, or is that George
No.
W.
Of
Bush?
president?
The first was
Yes.
the Adams.
And then it was the Bushes? Is that the only two, like, father-son, both in presidency?
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
What about Roosevelt's? Weren't they were related, right? Theodore and FDR?
But not like you think. What do you think they were?
Maybe
Cousins.
like cousins, something like that.
What would you bet if I gave you $100?
Oh, let me
Because it's
think
tough.
about
Because I would think
it. FDR, World War II, Theodore, Civil War. So, man, that'd be a generation. Maybe uncle, nephew, uncle.
so. I would think it would be like brothers or something. The only reason I know this is from trivia. They were like fourth or fifth cousins.
Oh, okay.
They just had the same last name and like
Okay.
right, Mike.
Yeah, fifth cousins.
It wasn't even like a real thing. I mean, fifth cousins you can marry. They can marry each other.
Yeah, back then.
No, even now.
Oh yeah, fifth cousins.
Fifth
yeah,
cousins.
we just talked about that.
Yeah.
So I'm following correctly. So if the popular vote chooses someone, which is all of our votes.
Okay. Well, they're not going to choose anybody, but there can be somebody that has more votes.
Yes. So like say we collectively as a whole, we all voted, this is the person. The Electoral College, if they don't agree,
It's not that they don't.
No.
It's not an agreement thing. So okay, let me say it one more way that even it helps me. I'm going to use states as examples. California has, I think, 56 votes. You can fact check me on that because I'm not sure. I said it a minute ago.
56 electoral college votes.
Yes.
Okay.
And 54. Excuse me. Thank you. 54. California's 54. Now, let's say we took, and I'm going to use some random states: Missouri 10, Iowa 6, Arkansas 6, 22, Kansas 28. Let's say we got it to 55 votes of red, because California's going to be blue, but 55 red votes, red states. California has more population than the 55 electoral, all those states combined.
Yes.
But because they're each allotted those numbers, they win. Because it's not a population thing. It's a win your state, win those votes. So you win your state, you get all the votes your state is. But there could be more states that end up with 55, 60, 62 red votes. But still, population-wise, don't add up to what California is. But they would count for more because of what they're assigned per each state. I know, it's weird.
So when do the popular votes kick in?
Never.
If they ever.
Never.
Never,
so
doesn't
why
matter, dude.
why does everybody why is everybody
Why
so
we-
like
So
voting? Why?
Well,
Well, because in your state,
so then,
you got to
yeah.
vote in your state because the state gets the electoral colleges. So if you don't vote in your state, then there would be no electoral college vote.
So we basically could
you-
influence.
But no, what you're
The next
asking, what you're
election?
asking is why vote if your state's already one other is really already set.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
the reason that a lot of people don't vote in states where it's already set. That is the question. Because a lot of the states where it's absolutely going to be red or absolutely blue, people go to the other side unless they want to vote for down ballot. They're like, why would I even go? It doesn't matter.
So is this why some people really don't like the Electoral College? And there's like this.
Some people don't like the electoral college because it's not like real vote. Like, should it be absolute voting and the person with the most votes wins? Like, that makes the most sense.
Except for then it's not
But
the
then
most fair for the smaller states versus the bigger states.
fair
or
is
more
a weird term
populated.
to use, but that would be
No.
the argument for the electoral college. But others would say, what's fair? It's just people, like humans.
Yeah, you live where you live.
Yes. I don't love the electoral college, but I do understand why it exists. So I'm not fighting for it. I don't love the electoral college, but I do get why it exists and has been established to make sure that states with little population at least have some voice in the matter, because then their votes
Yes.
will count. Yes.
That helps me. That helped me
Yeah.
make it. You made it make sense with that. Yeah, it's like there's a game. It's a game.
Are you,
Ooh,
are you explaining it?
did you bet money on?
So you can't
On the election?
you can't bet in America on the
So
election.
did you bet in?
No,
Kenya?
I did not. I did not.
Kenya, yeah.
They have something called poly market, which has been, but then they realized that people are heavily influencing it and as kind of a disinformation campaign, putting a whole bunch of money in it to sway what the results were of that to somewhat try to suppress a vote. Right. So, but what you can do that I did find out how on, you can't bet, but on Robinhood, you can select
Invest.
shares.
Did you figure that out?
Yeah, because the other day you were
You
trying
were
to.
trying to look
yeah,
into
you
Yeah.
gotta
it.
figure it out.
I
So like
found it.
you.
Yeah, I found it. I did it.
Okay.
Okay.
I put about $1,000 in there.
All
You
right.
invested.
I invested.
Okay.
Man, I'm kind of deflated
Yeah.
a little bit.
No,
here.
this is.
I'm deflated.
It's like
We're
it's
not-
like a game.
The only way we will have a winner tonight is if somebody takes a few of the states that are not supposed to be won by them and win by them.
Right.
And that
And
would
then
be,
that would be such an indicator. Of,
well, not even an indicator. It's like they can't even climb back, even if they get the ones that are swinging.
yeah, I guess that's what I meant by like it'll just be like so obvious.
If that's the case, why do they have, like, say Harris and Trump are having their election parties and one of them will be like, well, you won. Why do they do that if there's a possibility that they didn't win?
Because for the history of time, for the most part, somebody has won. They've declared a winner because it was just out of control. Like when Reagan ran against Dukakis, you may look this up. I think he won every state but one.
That was a good night. Just kidding. I was like, we were just talking about having parties at every election.
That was the 80s.
Oh, Reagan and Dukakis. Yeah,
the 80s,
I
right?
was.
It was the 80s, yeah. So if you just Google like electoral map, Reagan Dukakis. Or Bush Dukakis, excuse me. But I think it was Reagan. Who did Reagan? I don't even know because I was barely alive.
Benson?
The TV show?
No, there was like Dukakis Benson. I
Dukakis
think.
ran against Bush. And Dukakis was the one that got on the tank and put the helmet on and looked
That's
like a
it.
child and lost
That's
the
it.
election because of that.
Yeah.
But we don't really remember that, for the record.
No, we just need
I
pictures.
remember that.
Yeah. I don't remember that.
Like him on the
sinking
tank?
the campaign. I remember the picture, but only because I've seen it so many times since then. What was it, Mike? Landslide election?
Yeah, 426
Yeah.
votes,
426 to...
111.
Wow,
Oh, I think there's been bigger ones than that.
that is
though.
crazy.
I know. Look at the one before that one.
I mean, that hurt.
Let's do biggest landslide.
That was Reagan, the one you just read?
That was Bush
Oh, Bush.
and Dukakis. Biggest
Who's been the biggest
landslide
loser?
Electoral college. 84. Reagan carried 49 to 50 states.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I mean, he was famous before the election.
Who?
Reagan.
Oh yeah, because he's an actor.
Yeah.
I gotta Google.
He also was governor of California.
Dukakis.
So it's not.
True.
I mean, he
But
had,
I
But I
mean-
mean, everyone knew who he was. That kind
yeah,
of
but he
helps.
also had a political background. So it was just like an actor running.
But that was all later.
No, he was governor of California before that.
No, what I'm saying is he was an actor when he was young.
Yeah, and then was
for
governor of
like
California.
30 years and then became governor. So everyone, it's like if Arnold Schwarzenegger like ran for president, we'd all like know him because he was an actor first.
It depends on how young the youth vote probably would have known Reagan then for being a young vote for being an actor. It'd only been the old people, but old people really were the only people that voted then too.
True. That's a good point.
So yeah, Reagan beat Walter Mondale 525 to 13.
Never heard of the dude.
The Walter guy, me either.
That's crazy.
Sounds like the dude from Breaking Bad.
Walter White.
Anyway, good luck everybody. I'm gonna go vote now.
I did start watching The Diplomat, which is a really ironic time to start watching something like that.
Is that the one with the Carrie, Felicity?
I don't know her name,
Russell?
Sometimes y'all say she looks like me,
It's
Yeah,
got
Carrie
but it's
Russell.
really good.
or I look like her.
it's
but
got a
not really.
high.
What is it?
It's
called?
good.
The Diplomat on Netflix.
I
It
started
has-
it too.
Yeah. It's like, it's about, she's an ambassador over in another country for the United States. And it's super interesting.
Did you ever watch The Spy, the Russian Spy that she was in?
Yes, the Americans.
Morgan? Yeah, I
The
know you did. I was asking Morgan.
Americans.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were just asking.
Is it
for
called
name
The
of show.
Americans? Is it a movie?
Yeah.
It's a show.
I don't.
No,
No.
it's a show. Yeah, it's based on a true-ish story about two Russians that were spies in America.
And it's a true story?
True-ish, right? How do they classify it, Mike? Because I don't want to say that it's true. Roughly based on
It says partly inspired by
a
real
true
life.
story.
Inspired
Yeah.
by true events.
Half true.
So
No, I haven't seen that.
It's over now.
Isn't that crazy? Like there's Russian spies among us and we don't even know.
Are you a Russian spy?
No, but maybe.
I think my old neighbor was a Nazi.
Where?
Growing up in the valley.
Really?
Yeah, because he was German, and he was older. And we read later in life that a lot of those Nazis had to move to like Mexico and South
They
Texas.
did.
Yeah.
And South
So,
America.
like it all just makes sense now.
Was he a scientist?
We don't know what he did.
Oh.
But he had a German
Whoa.
Shepherd too. It's crazy.
Well, the German Shepherd makes no sense.
No, I know, but that was just crazy. He had a German Shepherd too. And we kick the balls over the fence and be like, "You get it? I'm not getting it."
My in-laws think the Russian mafia lived next door to them because in the middle of the night they moved out, like just moved out at 3 a.m. House was empty for 2 years, and they just tore it down. And it's just an empty lot now, but they still pay the taxes.
All the Nazis. So what? After World War II, America tried to go and poach the smartest Nazis and bring them here. Start space program,
Yes,
science.
yes.
Operation Needle Pin. Oh God, know the name of it. But that was what it was. And then, but some of the other ones, South America, there are full
South America, they had to go.
There are full cities that are still German in South America.
Correct.
Operation Paperclip.
Those,
Oh, that's what it's called?
those are the scientists, like the
Th-
smart
that was-
Nazis.
So every country that was trying to get them,
Yeah.
and then change them out
You
and give them new identities because it's like let's just go find the smartest
Dude, that could have been my neighbor.
bad people. I know.
Crazy.
Yes, Morgan.
That reminds me on the designer show on Apple TV Plus. Did you watch that? It was about Amy. You watched it. It was about the designers were involved with the Nazis and helped. It was crazy.
It was
and
called The
based on-
Designer?
No, it was on
I
Apple
thought it was
TV
like
Plus.
that couple in Waco.
Designer Nazi.
What are their names?
It was about
Chip and Joanna.
Yeah, I
Chip
thought
and
it was a
Joanna
show like that
Gaines.
with the Nazis. I was like, I don't want to watch that crap.
No, it's called The New Look, and it's about Coco Chanel and Christian Dior.
Oh, yes, I watched that.
And
Yes.
What's it
They're
called?
The
it's
New Look.
The New Look,
Oh.
and it's about them being involved in that war and like how they played a role in it. And I think it's based on a true story.
Probably won't watch that one, but
Coco Chanel's that old?
No, Bobby, I think you would like it.
No, yeah, I think you would really like it.
I really, yeah. I kind
I'm
of
too
forgot
busy.
about
I'm too
that
busy
one.
watching the Penguin.
I know, but when
You guys watching the
Well,
Penguin?
that's only
so
one
when you're
good.
done with the
episode.
penguin,
I'm
like
never done with the Penguin. The Penguin's awesome.
It's good,
We
but
watched this episode too.
my Mac signed out.
From whose account? Whose did you have?
Not mine.
Who did you have?
Our buddy, Steve.
Oh, you did.
oh yeah, that show was crazy because like there are these designers, like the big ones, Coco Chanel, Christian Dior, like, and they were having to design like the Nazis. They had a lot of money, they had a lot of balls, they had a
design
lot of
their
parties,
outfits.
They had a lot of
and
what?
the wives balls. The wives would be like,
galas. I would have said galas.
Okay.
But yeah, but a ball. Yeah.
okay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's like you'd be like you knew you'd be designing a dress for a Nazi's wife, like someone high up in command, and some of them would like refuse, but then others were like, okay, this is what I just have to do to survive, and that's crazy.
That's crazy.
So
No, that's true,
So Coco
absolutely.
Chanel's that
Yeah.
old, and Versace. Who's the other?
I don't feel like
Christian
that's that
Dior.
old.
Christian Dior.
World
I
War
feel
II
like
wasn't
Coco
that
1940.
long.
That was like the 50s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about that time.
I didn't know she was that old. I
And
thought
they
she
were
was
all
like Vera
Born
Wang.
in 1883.
That's old.
I mean, it's been around a
Well,
long
she
time.
can't be alive then.
No, she
No,
can't.
yeah, no one's claiming. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think she is.
Not alive.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
I thought Coco was. I thought all those people were alive.
Yeah, I thought they
Now?
all knew
Yeah.
brand.
You thought Coco Chanel alive was now?
Yeah, Coco's a modern young name. Like it doesn't sound like an old lady.
Coco?
Coco.
yeah,
right?
I agree with you.
You're thinking of
I went
Coco
to
the
college with a
movie?
girl named Coco.
Yeah,
Coco.
There's the Coco
Not
tennis
Coco
player
Chanel.
right
Co-
now.
Coco Crisp?
Gunn.
There's a girl I know,
Coco
Coco
Gauff.
Douglas. Coco Douglas.
Is that her real name?
I don't
Coco
know.
Gauff, yeah.
I feel like if anything, it's come back again. It got so old and went totally away and then came back like old names do.
I think it's cute.
Coco's a cool name.
Coco.
It's
There was a
it's
wrestler,
too
Coco
chocolate.
Beware, man.
But K-O-K-O.
Yeah, but it was still cool.
With the bird.
He was cool.
Coco sounds like
Who
chocolate
is
to me.
Coco?
Coco Crisp.
Well, it is Coco.
I know, that's why I don't like the name.
And then who was the other one? Christian Dior.
Yeah.
Is that a guy or girl?
Guy.
Oh,
I always thought that was a woman.
Oh,
Hey,
so
dude.
Coco Gauff's real name is
Great
Corey.
question. I didn't know
I
that.
thought it was a
Just so
woman the
y'all
whole
know.
time.
It was?
It is.
Yeah. Okay, we're done.
Hey, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I understand now. Which
Now
is
tonight
crazy.
I'm gonna be like, this is
Yeah.
gonna be a fun game. Who's gonna be the first one to 270 points?
That's what it is. I wouldn't say points, though.
Yep.
No,
And they need
no. In my mind,
538.
it's a game and there's points.
First one to 270 cupcakes. It's weird. It sucks. Don't love it.
Yeah.
Gotta find something to watch tonight.
Oh, Chimp Crazy.
Yeah, the
I'm gonna start
Diplomat.
that tonight.
Chimp, no, watch Chimp Crazy.
I'm gonna start
Maybe
that
I'll
one.
watch Chimp Crazy tonight. Or A Perfect Couple. People talk about that, right?
That's good.
We started it. My wife, I guess,
couldn't
had already
finish
read
it.
the book though, so she already knew the end. So I was like, I'm out.
Oh, it's good.
I don't want to watch a show where somebody already knows the end. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm hearing like, ooh, wonder what's gonna happen, and she's like, I already know.
And then she's like, just wait.
I'm like, oh wait, watch this.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't like
and
that.
she doesn't do that, but I feel like she is in her head.
No, my wife does
And I
that.
hate that. I get so annoyed at things she does in her head that I don't even know if she's really doing. Okay, we're done. Thank you guys. Have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. All games tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.